One more day. Not for me, though. I'm going home. Sorry.
See, I got things to do.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, you can stay. I mean, we'll keep you here if you want. I mean, that's perfectly fine. That's an acceptable thing.
I have a new puppy. I got to go home and play with her.
Aww.
Shout out Chewy.
Chewy. Yeah.
So, how has your MomoCon been so far?
Moisturizing. It's been great, actually. I love Atlanta. I love MomoCon. It was one of the first cons I started attending back in the day, and I've gotten to watch it grow to this craziness. But I love the people here. I love the city. I love the aquarium. I got to go scuba diving in the aquarium. That was amazing. Yeah, it was so cool. I got to scuba dive with whale sharks. It was so cool.
That's awesome.
No, Atlanta's great, and Toonami is here too. So I got to see Gil Austin the other day from Toonami, who I've been working with for years and years and years. So it always feels like coming home. So and you guys are just so amazing and welcoming, and your stories touch me deeply. So thank you for having me back. I appreciate it.
That's awesome. Come on. So, Steven, I want to actually ask Steve, at what point in your life, when you started off at this being a gig, like your first gig, to you saying, and at that moment that clicked, that was just like, this is a career and sort of a thing I want to go ahead and continue to pursue, because you've done some iconic characters, and your voice is probably really a good nugget of a lot of core memories. What was the point that you were just like, hey, this is something I'm good at. I want to keep doing this?
It didn't occur to me that this could be a profession, honestly. I didn't make the choice to go into voiceover full-time until I was 40 years old. And I had already been doing it for a decade and a half. Yeah. And I think the thing that made me decide to do voiceover full-time was when I booked the role of the guy on the 7-Eleven commercials. Yeah. The guy who said, "Oh, thank heaven." Yeah, I was that idiot. Selling you those awful hot dogs spinning on the thing. And I really thought that, that was my first big commercial, my only big commercial campaign. And all my buddies who were doing commercials at the time were buying houses and cars, and I was struggling trying to make a living with anime. And so I thought that was it. That was the thing that was going to get me over the hump. And I was working at a film studio as an executive for many years and making six figures, had a beautiful corner office in Hollywood, traveling to the Cannes Film Festival. And I hated going to work every day. And it was just mean and nasty people. It's the film industry. It was awful. Became really corporate in this tiny little company after many years. And so I thought, well, I booked the 7-Eleven thing. I'm quitting my job. And I'm going to do this full time. And then the union went on strike, and I was out of work for a year and a half and had to get 3 more jobs to support what became my voiceover habit again. Yeah. And so the thing that I tell my students at bloomboxstudios.com is that, no matter what, you have to pursue your passion. You have to do the thing that really fuels you, that you really, really love. And voiceover was the one thing that really fueled me creatively. So I did it on nights and weekends or whenever I could fit it in, just to sort of balance all the other garbage that I had to do to survive and feed my kids. And here we are 35 years later, and I still love what I do. It's the hardest job I've ever had, but it's the thing that I really, really love. Oh, thank you.
High praise.
Tell that to my bones. My hernia.
That's a very interesting transition, especially if you were coming from like the corporate structure and the corporate world and stuff like that. That's got to be a very jarring kind of thing. What was that like when it came to the, going through the grind of the Monday through Friday versus this is, you still have your structure, but like, what was that transition like personally for you?
I never really had a standard way of making a living anyway. Even when I was at the film company, I was playing in a band. I was playing in an R&B band. So at night, I'd be recording or playing out till 3, 4 in the morning. So I've never had a normal structure in my life. And so in some ways it was a little bit easier going to that, because I could make the decisions whether or not I was doing the auditions, whether I was going to the jobs. I always said yes to everything because I'm a voiceover whore. But the point for me was that I could actually have a little more control of my own life. So I actually relished that, even though it was the most unpredictable thing I possibly could have gone into. My whole family and all of my friends thought I was a moron for trying to pursue voice acting as a career. And they saw my struggle. You know, some months I would have a ton of work, and some months I would have nothing.
Yeah.
And living on credit cards for many years, and I lived the struggle like a lot of starving artists do. Yeah. And so it gave me a level of appreciation that I don't think I could have had otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I answered your question.
No, you did, absolutely. No, that was a perfect, pitch perfect answer. You are the voice of Toonami.
Still am. Yeah, every Saturday night, only Toonami on Adult Swim. Yeah, we were on last night. We were on a few hours ago. So, yeah, for those of you who stayed up late, thank you for staying up late and watching Toonami.
I just humor me for a second. Raise your hand if that is the voice that when you're watching cartoons, that's the voice.
Wow. Okay, that's crazy. That's just crazy to me.
I'm telling you, core memory. You are part of you're in their lives. You're in their DNA. You can't get away from it.
I've infected all of you. What was that?
Rent
awesome.
Free.
Nice. Thank you for that. Because I need an apartment.
So in your voice work, actually, do you ever find yourself, because again, you have over 900 credits almost already. Do you ever find yourself slipping into accents or voices in between, like when you're doing a character and sort of like not switching that dial?
Every now and then, if I've had a tremendous lack of sleep, sometimes that'll happen. But it happens automatically anyway. Yeah. My wife, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, is also an amazing voice actor and director. She's directed all of your favorite shows, probably. We can't help it. It's like almost like Tourette's. We'll just break into a voice. And now that we have a puppy, it's even worse. So we do all the voices for the puppy. So she's our biggest judge.
Can I ask what your puppy's voice is?
Oh, she's got a million voices like me. She's gonna be, troubled at some point. But usually I'll come up to her and go, "Oh, baby, hi." It's something like that. Yeah, she loves the really high-pitched voices.
Yeah.
Chewy. Her name's Chewy, so I do that to her. So yeah, I miss her so much. We've only had her for a couple of weeks, and right after I really bonded with her, I left for this trip, and I've done 2 consecutive cons in a row without going home, so I am really homesick right now.
Yeah, we do appreciate you coming into town and just spending this time with us, because
it's my honor and privilege. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. Which has been the most physically demanding voice you have done?
Baraka from Mortal Kombat. Baraka started out with very short lines when I first started recording him. And the voice is like this. And that is my actual voice that you're hearing if you've played the game. They don't modify it at all. Now, Baraka is speaking in full paragraphs in that voice. And it is really hard. It hurts so bad. So I actually have to limit those sessions to an hour or I'll kill myself.
Yeah. Any techniques that you use to sort of decompress from that, because that sounds taxing?
It's awful. Yeah, sleep, hydration, shutting up. Honestly, I just have to shut up, which is kind of hard for me to do sometimes. So, yeah.
Any teas or anything that are your go-tos?
Well, there are throat coat teas. I haven't used those in a while. I use these little lozenges called Golden Throat Drops. It's an organic, natural thing from China, just herbs, and they seem to help a lot to kind of calm it down in there. But if you do damage to your throat, you do damage to your throat, and that is only making it feel better in the moment, so you're not repairing that damage unless you sleep and really rest. And you can learn more about that at bloomboxstudios.com.
I was going to segue, actually. You perfectly segued into that, because you
read your mind, my friend.
You've crafted this into something that you're sharing into the world, and sharing actually, and bringing people in and saying, hey, this is something that if you're passionate about, it'd be great to sort of be a part of. So when you pivoted from your career as a voice actor to saying, hey, I want to go ahead and teach this, what was the process of that?
I never pivoted. I'm still voice acting more than I ever have. what changed for me was coming to conventions all over the world, and the first thing that everybody always asks is, how do I become a voice actor? Yeah. And so I was pointing them to D. Bradley Baker's free site, iwannabeavoiceactor.com. I still highly recommend that. Yuri Lowenthal, Tara Platt, who are here at the con, have written an amazing book called Voiceover Voice Actor. So I used that as sort of the reference and pointed people in that direction, but it still wasn't enough. People wanted something more. And so the only thing I thought I could offer was maybe my own personal experience. Yeah. Everybody around me was saying, just start teaching. Every moment becomes a teaching moment. I really didn't want to do it. Yeah. It's awful running a company. I hate it. Maintaining that website is crazy. It's super expensive. I don't make money at this. I pay my staff, but I really don't make money at it. But I needed to give something back to people, and I didn't want people to go down the same rough path that all of us had coming up. And it's predatory. It's the entertainment industry. So I wanted to lead people away from that, give them tools to be able to negotiate that emotionally. So that's how it started. And I was only going to do 30 classes originally. I had to sort of deconstruct my whole career and give out as much information as I could. And at that point, I still wasn't really satisfied. And I thought, there's stuff that I don't know. So I'm going to start bringing in my friends. And so now I've brought in, I think, 60 other teachers. Once a month, we do it live. And we've had the best in the world. I mean, crazy, crazy talented people. I just had James Monroe Iglehart, who started the role of Aladdin, the genie in Aladdin on Broadway. And he's also an amazing voice actor. He was my most recent guest. Bryce Papenbrook is coming next week, on Tuesday. Bryce Papenbrook will be coming. But I've had LeVar Burton, and I've had Clancy Brown, and everybody from Critical Role, and as my teachers, and I picked their brain to see what their process was and how they've negotiated this all the way through their careers. And so it's the most comprehensive voiceover course, I think, that's really out there. And I'm going to maintain it as long as I possibly can. But it's amazing because it literally every single con I do all over the country so far, and probably all over the world. I haven't traveled overseas in a little while. But every single convention I do, my students will show up. And so it has become a global thing, and the students are, there's one right there. Thank you, sir. And all I can say is thank you for trusting me, you guys who have checked out the website and trusted me to do this, because it's a big deal to trust somebody and pay for classes. And if you guys are interested in checking it out with no obligation, and I really encourage you to do that, is go to my website at bloomvoxstudios.com and check out the free masterclass. We did an hour-long masterclass. It'll kind of give you the overview of how the industry actually does work, and it'll dispel a lot of those myths and the caca that people will feed you trying to make money off of you. And if my class is right for you, awesome. It's there waiting for you. If not, we actually guide you in direction of other teachers too, because I want you guys to have the best experience possible.
Yes. Okay.
Like it. That's bloomboxstudios.com. Order now, get a complete set of Ginsu knives guaranteed for life. No, you don't get that. You don't get that.
Steve, who narrates your autobiography? Who in your mind, who is the voice that you're saying? Because you know how sometimes people use the whole Morgan Freeman, they want the Morgan Freeman voiceover?
Yeah, I want Morgan Freeman. Yes, that would be my go-to. I love Morgan Freeman. He's amazing.
Yes.
Absolutely Morgan Freeman.
Yes.
Yes.
Who's your secondary, though?
Man, how do you choose? Samuel Jackson. He might get a little spicy, though. Yeah, I love Sam Jackson, too.
Clancy Brown.
Oh, that's a good
Clancy
choice.
Brown would be great. Yeah. Richard Horvitz. No, Mary. Mary would be great. I don't know. My dog.
My dog.
Should be speaking 3 languages by the time I get home, so yes.
All right.
Or Bo Billingsley, who is texting me right now. Yeah.
Steve, these lovely people probably have questions. Would you like to answer some questions?
No. Yes. Yes.
All right. We have a mic right here, so Nick is our runner. Please queue up.
Around the room. This way. Let's not block the aisle.
Herding cats.
And remember, actually, we are in the presence of a voice actor, so, project. Use that outside voice. Not too outside. Not last night in the courtyard outside. Just the regular outside.
My default voice is my outside voice.
Awesome.
Welcome back.
Thank
And thank you. Also, thoughts and prayers to your son if he's still an educator.
I'm sorry, my watch was, Mary was leaving me a message. I'm so sorry she interrupted you.
It's okay.
Go on.
No, I was just saying, thoughts and prayers to your son if he's still an educator.
Oh, he is. Yes. Thank you. And he needs it. I just had dinner with him last week, and that poor guy is suffering right now.
I can only imagine. My dad retired since I saw you last. I know everybody's here for Sonic and Cowboy Bebop, but I wanted to ask you, how was your experience as Dopo Orochi on Baki Hanma Anime?
It was really fun. What a weird character that was.
I bet.
It still is, I guess. Yeah. No, it was really fun. It's like any other job. I go in enthusiastically, and I'm grateful for it, and it was amazing. I thought it was really fun to see him lose a hand and still continue fighting. That was pretty cool. No, I loved it. Like any other job, I approach it with relish and gratitude.
Did you get to audition Yujiro?
I don't remember, honestly. I auditioned for Dopo, but I don't remember if I auditioned for other characters. I really don't know.
That's okay. Mr. Kirk Thornton is here this year also, so I'll ask him.
I'm sure he did a great job. Yeah.
Yes, he did. Both
Okay.
of you did.
I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
Thank you very
But
much.
thank you for watching.
Oh, yeah, it was great. A man's anime.
Manime.
Manime.
Ooh.
Manime.
Yeah. Hi.
Hello. My question is there a character or fandom that you want to voice act in that you haven't already?
I used to think that way, and until that character would have been Batman, and then I met Kevin Conroy, and I went, "Oh no, I'm good. I'm really good." No, I don't think that way at all. Honestly, there are certain franchises that I would like to work in, or directors that I would like to work with. So, any of the Studio Ghibli stuff, I would love to work on that. Because I've never worked on one of those movies.
would
I
be
just
amazing.
love them. I think they're amazing. I love working on big animated motion pictures. That's super fun to do, and I don't get to do a lot of that. So,
Yeah, no,
okay,
you got a
they're
whole
coming to
band.
take me away. Haha. Yeah, but I don't really think in terms of what I haven't worked on. I'm actually concentrating on what I'm auditioning for in the moment and the job that I do book, because otherwise I'm going to be disappointed. And I tell my students that all the time at bloombergstudios.com. Honestly, it'll kill you. If you're concentrating on that one thing that keeps getting away from you, it's like the drug that you're always chasing. And you miss out on everything else. So I wouldn't have been able to do everything I've done in my career if I had been thinking in those terms. So wipe that from your mind, my friend. It's great to use that for inspiration, but don't use that as your ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Understand, Uncle Logan.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Steve. I am going to put it out into, since you put that now in my brain, I'm putting out into the universe, I want to hear you do Batman. Not right now. I'm just saying in general, I want to see that happen now. I want to hear that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That Jones has actually been fulfilled for me because I got to, oh, that's better. Now you can hear me. I got to voice Lego Batman, the original Lego Batman, that was nonverbal. I just went, But I got to buy the little Lego action figure, and that was all I really wanted out of the deal. So I'm good.
Fair.
Yeah. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Hi, Steve. Good to see you again, brother. Miss you. Want to circle back around to Baraka because, along with getting more lines, we've really seen an evolution of that character. Because I've gone from being scared to being very sad for that character. There's so many lines where I just tear up. I'm like, God, you're really affected by this disease. But what was your reaction to seeing the evolution of that character, and what do you hope they do next with him to fool around him out as a character?
That's an excellent question, and I wish I had a better answer for you. I'm not a gamer, so I have no idea what happened with the character. I'm reading those lines in real time, pretty much. I don't have any prep for it. I don't know any context for it. It's not a particularly nuanced character in terms of the typical emotion. I just use the writing to kind of get me through each section. Thank you for caring about it as much as you do. I honestly don't know. I have no idea. I don't know where the character came from. I don't know where he's going to. I'm just making sounds and trying to get it out as articulately as I can. But thank you for caring.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
See you around. Thank you so much.
All right, keep doing what you do, too. Will you introduce yourself really quick? You guys have to know who this is.
My name is Josh Morales. My name is Jant Moore. I interview voice actors all the time, from Yuri Lowenthal to even Steve. That's how we met. Been one of my best friends since then. Love this guy with all my heart. And yeah, still been doing it 4 years going strong.
He's amazing. Check him out at Jant Moore, Jantmor.
Woo!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Love you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
See you soon.
Hi, Steve. My name is Sadman. My question is, if Tom from Toonami was here at MomoCon, how would he react to being here?
Tom is here. What are you talking about?
Okay.
This is what he looks like under the helmet. This is it. No, I'm reacting as Tom. This is exactly how Tom would react. Except he'd probably be itching to get back out in space where there are no people around. He's very happy to be just hanging out with Sarah, I think. That's the only thing. Like many of us, extroverted introvert, that's me too. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go home and hide with my dog as soon as I finish here. Yeah, I love you guys, but yeah, I want to crawl back into my hole.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Speaking as kind of an older fan who's been watching since kind of like the pre-IMDb internet days, I remember back then it used to be harder to look up who voiced my favorite characters. So how do you feel, since you've been in a long enough time, how has it been connecting and interacting with fans as it's gotten easier for them to know who their favorite voice actors are?
That's been a trip because I didn't know if anybody would care about anything I was doing back in the day. And when IMDb came along, I mean, half of it was wrong at first. Now it's getting better. I still don't know if everything is correct. In fact, I won the Guinness World Record for most voices in video games. I had to sit with my own IMDb for 3 months with my agent going through each character because I'm not a gamer, everything was code-named, and sometimes I didn't even know the name of the character. That helped a lot. So personally, it helped me to figure out what I've done in my career. Mm-hmm. It's the thing that's really weird about IMDb now is that it is accessible all over the world, and people are starting to recognize me in weird places that they never used to. And, there's that recognition of the voice in their ear, and they don't know where they've heard it sometimes. And I'll see people doing double takes in the grocery store. But now I see them whip up their phone and go, I know you from, and then they'll listen, 20 different things. And that's different. And especially in Hawaii, where I live, very quiet, reserved place. I live way out in the country. So when I'm in the, Ace Hardware or something, picking up something for my garden, and somebody comes up and he goes, oh, do the Orochimaru voice. And it's like, what? It's so out of context for me. I just live in my life. It used to be a life of complete anonymity until I came to the cons, and now that's changed. Right. So it's fun, and people are usually really respectful, but it's nice to be able to do that. And also, it's very helpful for me to research my guests. Like Bryce Papenbrook is going to be my next guest on Tuesday. I spent the better part of last night watching interviews and with him and going through his IMDb, and it really helps me to get a better understanding of what the guy's done in his career, because not only don't I watch most of my own stuff, I haven't watched most of his, and I want to know. So it's very, very helpful. Thank you for asking that. Nobody's ever asked that before.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Hiya.
Hi.
Hi.
So what was your favorite Cowboy Bebop episode to work on?
Ooh, how do you choose? To work on, probably Mushroom Samba. Just because it was so...
Understandable.
So everybody... That's funny that you asked it that way, because most people say, what is your favorite episode? Favorite episode to work on was definitely Mushroom Samba. Because it was just ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all had a great time on that one. Thank you. Toonami. Yeah. Nice.
Hi. My name's Jose. Nice
Jose.
to see you. I have a question about your last name.
Yes.
Because it's spelled B-L-U-M.
Yes.
And it's pronounced Bloom.
Yes.
But I noticed that producer Jason Blum of Blumhouse Productions is pronounced that way, but spelled the same. And I'm just wondering where your pronunciation of your last name is from, and where your last name is from in general. I know it's a random question.
It's a great question. I really don't know. My father was adopted, so I asked him that question. He had no idea.
Oh.
But we think it was originally a Polish name. They think it was like Balmot or something like that. And when my great-great-great-grandparents came over from the old country, that's probably the pronunciation they gave him to Americanize it. And it's actually a German name, which is odd. So, and I think there's a Blum's Candies, too. Yeah. So I don't know. I just say we pronounce it wrong.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I never get upset when people don't pronounce it as Bloom. It's fine. Jesus, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
I couldn't go to church, so here it came to me. Nice.
First of all, I'd love to say thank you for voicing my childhood.
You're so welcome.
But
I voiced Jesus' childhood. That's awesome. Who knew? Who knew that? Mom, you'd never believe that one.
but regarding your role as a Tank Dempsey, what would you say your favorite game to work on was?
Which incarnation of Call of Duty?
Yes.
Again, I have no idea because I didn't know what I was working on at the time.
Oh, you just saying lines?
Yeah, I was just saying lines, and they would probably tell me which one it was, which map it was, or whatever, and I'd say, okay, that's great, because I don't play. I have no idea.
Right.
I really love the original ones, though, where he got pretty feral.
Right.
As Ultimus, is that what they called him? Yeah. When he was saying stuff like, you got dead flesh on my new boots. I love that.
Yeah.
He was just yelling all the time. It hurt, but it was worth it, because it was so funny and ridiculous.
Right.
And splattering gut bags.
Could I get a oorah?
Hoorah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Drink your juggernog.
Hey, Steve. What was a role that you auditioned for, didn't get, but not mad about who got it?
Goro from the original Mortal Kombat movie. I got to final callbacks with that, and I totally blew it. I was so nervous, I just fell apart because it was in front of all the casting people in a live room, which is very unusual. And so I just fell apart in that audition, but then I found out Kevin Michael Richardson got it, and he's one of my favorite humans in the whole world, and so I was just celebrating him. It was all good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hi. So I was just wondering to know, what was it like, and like if this was your idea or if this was like a few people at Adult Swim who decided to do the tribute to Akira Toriyama on Toonami, and what was it like getting to do that?
That was their idea. I honestly wasn't really familiar with, who was behind all those shows. And once I looked it up, I went, oh my God, this guy's a hero of mine, and I didn't even know it. So no, it's always an honor when everybody at Adult Swim pays homage to the creators of this craft, and I'm humbled by it. I was really humbled to get to say those words.
I couldn't agree more, honestly.
Yeah. Amazing. Just amazing. What an amazing life that guy had.
Thank you.
Thank you. Died way before his time. Hello.
Hello. So I'm actually really interested in voice directing besides voice acting, and I've been following your career for a long, long time, and watching you work with Mary, and then also all of that. And I wanted to know about, I guess, any challenges and also the positives of working with voice directors, and what you would have, like, from a voice actor, what advice you would give to a potential voice director that you would like.
My advice as an actor to a director?
Yeah.
The thing I would say is that a director really should understand what it's like from the actor's perspective. Mm-hmm. A lot of directors want to direct without having gone through that, without having been in the trenches like that. Mary, I think, is such a astonishingly good director because she started as an actor and really listens to her actors, provides context for her actors, and that's what the director's job really is to provide context for us, so we really have an understanding, especially for idiots like me who don't have a chance to watch things before we get into the booth. I don't watch a lot of TV, I don't watch a lot of movies. She gets all the references. So for a director to really be able to work to find that key that unlocks each different actor's potential, because every actor works differently, a good director really should know all aspects of the industry. They should know it from the production side. They should watch a lot of movies, a lot of TV, be familiar with the references that we got hired for, so they can dial us back in if we start straying from it. But the most important thing is really to make the actor feel safe in the room, because it can be really scary. And especially if things are changed up at the last minute, and that's usually not up to the director. It's the producers or the writers or whatever. They change everything at the last minute, throw it at the actor, and the actor can fall apart. Or if something is very uncomfortable for the actor, it's a scene that might be triggering for them, the director, a great director, can make them feel comfortable in that moment. There are some actors that Mary has worked with. I call her a celebrity whisperer, because they bring her in when directors can't get a performance out of an obstinate celebrity, who thinks they have all the answers. I think you have what you need. She's heard a lot of that. she will find that key that causes them to relax and to actually give their best performance. And in some cases, it's quoting something from Shakespeare. You know, they could be doing the most ridiculous cartoon, and the actor doesn't understand. I don't understand why they're farting out of their ear. It makes no sense. You know, the rest of us go, yeah, fart out of the ear. It's awesome. But she might have to say, well, you know, from, you know, some Shakespearean play, there was this thing that could help them reconnect in that moment. A director has to be very, very adaptable to be able to make them feel safe and to unlock their full potential.
Thank you. That was really
Thank you.
inspirational. Thank you.
Awesome. Mary's on the line saying, yeah, that was pretty good. I think I butt dialed her, actually. Let me just check real quick. Yeah, I think I butt dialed her. Oops. Sorry, honey. I'm thinking of her too hard.
Hello there, Mr. Bloom. I don't really watch Toonami. I'm not a big fan of Toonami. I'm 20 years old. I didn't really grow up with it, but my brother's a big, giant fan of it. So the only question I really got to ask you is, do you have any work of your own that you're doing on, or something that you want to do before you end up going away from Toonami or anything like that?
Any original stuff, you mean?
Yeah, anything from your mind, just yourself.
I had a bunch of original ideas, and I still have it in a folder in my office. But I'm so busy all the time. I'm actually really happy to be of service on other people's projects. I've always kind of been a sideman. Even in my band, I was very happy being a rhythm guitar player, kind of on the side, and supporting the lead singer. That's always kind of been my perspective, to be of support. I even consider this a service job. As I tell my students at bloomboxstudios.com, you're here to be of service to the project and drive the story forward. So as much as I'd like to do that, it's also very, very hard work. I was just on the phone with Logic the other day. I've done a bunch of work with Logic, the hip hop artist. You'll have to look it up and see why. There's a whole story behind that. But he's writing, directing, producing, funding his own projects. And he loves it. I know he loves it, but it's also just tearing him apart because it's so hard to create your own content. If you can, do it. I'm too old to be starting that crap now. But thank you for asking. I appreciate it. And you are forgiven for not watching Toonami. All good. It's before your time. It's good.
I got you. But, like, the last thing I just need to say is it's never really too late to actually do it. I'm not going to lie to you. It's never really too late to get done with your dream. You're still here.
Never, ever too late to do anything that makes
I would
you
like
happy.
to see something from your mindset.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what
in my old age, I'm going to get back to playing music. I've got all my guitars on the walls. I don't have time to do it now. I have a sax. I used to play sax years ago. I want to play more drums. I want to get back to that. That would be really fun. And I built a studio, so at some point when I slow down, I want to start playing music again. That'll be fun.
I got a giant passion for music, too, so
nice.
Listen, in your future, if you ever think about doing music, go ahead and do it, man.
Okay, thank you.
It's great to actually see you here. So recently, the Gurren Lagann movies just came out in English for the first time in years, waiting for that. And you coming back as Liron, you nailed it. A lot of people botched it in a lot of ways. So I got to ask, what's it like reconnecting to a character after so long?
I love Liron. It's one of my favorite characters ever. I was actually a little disappointed that they wouldn't let me get dirty with him like they did the first time around. They actually really toned it down for the movie.
I noticed.
But, you know, when you start with a character, the very first line I heard of Liron was, "When you screw it in, give it a hard, manly twist." That just fills me up. It made me so happy to say stuff like that. I loved it, and if I can't perform the character really, really well, I'd rather not do it. I'd rather, you know, recommend one of my friends. So fortunately, it's still in my vocal range. I still understand the character. I love the show. So thankfully, they let me come play again. I'm just happy to be there. I didn't hear that they botched it.
There's a lot of people who just the lines, they voice cracks, or they just completely changed the line, or one line was just completely different in ways that just didn't work. Hearing Liron work as well as way back when was just the greatest thing I could have imagined.
Well, thank you. Liron will always be there for you, hon.
That's all I need right here.
Hi.
Hello, Mr. Bloom. How you doing? So I was wondering, as someone that wants to be a student at bloomboxstudios.com,
it's working.
do you have any tips for how to like deepen one's voice and make that last for like a recording session?
I would say start with your skills. Don't worry about modifying your voice at first. The most important thing is acting. Learn the acting chops. That comes later. A lot of people will do things like scream or drink liquor or coffee or whatever and try to gnarl up their voice. You're just going to do damage. So actually, I was watching an interview with Bryce Papenbrook about this very thing, and Inosuke, I think, is a character he was doing for Demon Slayer, and he does kind of gruff it up a little bit for that character. And he was saying in the interview that he does drink like really bitter coffee, and he yells in traffic and stuff like that. I don't recommend you guys do that. Maybe Bryce can do that because he's superhuman and he's a martial artist and he can do that, but don't do that because you're going to hurt yourself. There are breathing techniques that you can do to open up your vocal range. If you really want to stretch your vocal range above or below, I would suggest working with a vocal coach, work with a singing teacher, because they can help you do it safely. If you try to do it on your own and take really bad advice like screaming a lot, you're just gonna hurt yourself. Yeah, but you have a great voice, dude. And there's so many people who think that they have to be something other than what they're born with. This is your instrument. So you might be a violin player, you might be a cello player, you might be a bass player. All of them are beautiful. You just have to get the most out of your instrument and without hurting yourself trying to be something you're not.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Hi.
Good afternoon, Steve. I have a curious question. So you have such an amazing, long tenured career, of course. And I'm just wondering, what was for you personally, your breakout moment? What was that opportunity, that studio, that job, that whatever you did where you realized you were doing the thing that you always wanted to see for yourself as far as success?
I didn't know I wanted to be a voice actor. I just did it as a fun thing on the side. I think success is defined differently, I think, by a lot of different people. A lot of people define themselves as successful when they make a lot of money. I was making money in the film business and I was miserable.
Exactly.
In voiceover, I think it happened for me on the Cowboy Bebop movie when I learned vulnerability. Because Spike had that one singular, super vulnerable moment in that, and I had to actually get there emotionally, internally, which changed my life. It made me better with my kids. It made me better with my family. It made me better as an actor. So that I defined as the beginning of the path to becoming a much better person and a much better actor. And for me, that was success.
Absolutely.
So,
thank you, Steve.
Thank you. And now I define it by being able to live in Hawaii, so that's pretty good too.
Hey, I'm Kevin Reynoso, and I wanted to ask this question, and it was, has there ever been a moment that when someone said, hey, I recognize you from this show or TV show or something, has there ever been a moment of confusion you had that just went, did I voice that character? I don't remember ever doing that. You look through like either your IMDb or your portfolio, and then you go, I did?
Every convention. I know you said 900
examples?
credits, but on some shows I would do 20 or 30 different voices. I've done thousands of different characters, and many times they weren't even named. And so somebody will come up to me and say, I love you in episode 431 of whatever. And when you said this, and I went, what? And yeah, that happens all the time.
Any particular example you like bringing up, or just?
Well, here's a funny one. There was a game called Dragon Ball GT, and I played Goku, the one and only time I played Goku, and I didn't remember it because I think they threw me in the studio as a last-minute thing, only because I could scream. I was one of the few people in the room that could scream and sustain that. And so they brought me into that session. I didn't remember recording it. Somebody said, you're Goku, and I said, no, Sean Schemmel's Goku. What are you talking about? And so they showed me this game, and I went, oh, crap. Oh, I have no idea what I sounded like, and they wanted me to do a voice recording. So they played it for me, and I went, oh, I suck. This was terrible. And the director wanted me to do it very specifically like the original Japanese interpretation, and it was very stilted and weird writing, and they wanted me to do a bad performance, basically. So I blame it on the director, but honestly, I had no recollection of recording that at all. And there's another thing also named Goku Midnight Eye. I don't think that was me. People keep saying that was me, And to this day, I've listened to it back, and I'm thinking, I don't think I did that one. It's weird. So I don't know. I don't know what half of my career is. So thank God you do.
Who said I did? Thank you so much. Have
Thank
a good
you.
day.
Hi.
Hey, Steve. You've done many roles that have served as teachers for us, either indirectly, like with Spike or with Mugen, by showing us and expressing how they live their lives, or directly, like with great teacher Onizuka. So which of these characters and their lessons, if any, still resonate with you deeply and impact you today?
Oh, that's a great question. Probably Spike was my greatest teacher in so many different ways. I've always been a fan of martial artists. I did do a little bit of martial arts in college, and I never followed through with it. But just that whole philosophy, and especially because there were so many Bruce Lee influences in that, to be like water. And that's just one of the things that resonated with me and stays in my mind all the time, because life gets really crazy, and sometimes you just have to be like water and go with that flow. So that's constantly in the back of my mind. And because Bebop was such a profound influence in my life personally and professionally, because my wife played Julia and was the director on that show, it resonates, it hits me different. I think it really hits me different. So that's probably the most singular thing. The only other thing I would say is in Toonami, when we did the inspirational speeches, and we did fall down 7 times, get up 8, that is constantly in my mind, because we all fall down all the time. It's okay to fall down. It's the getting up that really counts. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello. First, I wanted to say I really appreciated your work on the show Gun Frontier as Harlock particularly. I don't hear a lot of people mention it, but I love Matsumoto's work, so I wanted to bring that up.
Thank you.
Regarding Toonami in the early portion of it, was there any crossover between the anime you were working on and Toonami itself, or any decisions at Toonami made based on that? And
go on.
and alternatively, has anything changed when it comes to anime like voice work?
Oh, yeah. Okay, 2 great questions. Toonami is definitely influenced by my anime work. They hired me based on the work of Cowboy Bebop and some of the other things. I didn't know at the time that they were going to have Sonny Straight's version of the character be eaten, and I was going to take over for that. I felt really bad about that. I'm still apologizing to Sonny after all these years. But it was an interesting challenge, because I was introducing a lot of the shows I was working on at the time. And so I think it was more of a challenge for their editors to cut around that so that my voice wouldn't be heard right next to Tom, because sometimes it's the same voice exactly. In Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop, it was all the same voice as Tom. So they tried to cut around that and use other actors' things. So I didn't really have to make that modification. They did it for me. And how has anime changed? I think we've certainly gotten better technically at matching the lip flaps and making it more organic. Back in the day, everything was really stilted, and we were just trying to shove words in there to fill up all the mouth movements, and sometimes it didn't make sense or it sounded really weird. I think it's just gotten more cinematic in the way it's being directed now, and Funimation helped a lot with that, I think, bringing non-union voice actors into the fray and training them to be really, really good. Back in the day, the non-union actors were really not so good, and I was one of them. They started hiring union actors. A lot of the shows I was working on were union, so we got better performances. But when Funimation kind of picked up the reins and most of the production was being done in Texas, they started doing a really, really good job with their dubs, and they've kind of lifted up the industry. I don't do a lot of anime work anymore. It's just not available to me because I am a union actor, and so much of it went non-union. But I'm just glad for the industry's sake that the performances are better. The storytelling is more faithful to the original intention, I think. So thank you for caring about that.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Hi, Steve. Just like everyone else, you've been a big part of my childhood. Me and my brother and my cousin loved Toonami. That's the reason how I got into anime.
Awesome.
But my question is, how was your experience on Toonami, and how did it lead into getting the role of Spike Spiegel, and how you managed to and since you were the host of Time, how you managed to do all these, you managed to do all the different roles while you were the host of Tom?
How did I manage to do the different roles while I was performing as Tom?
Yeah, and how it led into getting Spike Spiegel.
Oh, well, Bebop came before that for me, so they don't really conflict. And Toonami is another voice job like everything else. I record Toonami once a week from home, sometimes from my hotel room. Depending on where I am in the world, I bring a whole portable recording studio with me and do it there. There really isn't any conflict. It's a time management, which is a big thing for newer voice actors. You can learn more about that at bloomboxstudios.com, by the way. Yeah, time management is a thing. I have an agent who handles my scheduling. That's really the biggest difficulty, is to make sure I don't overlap my scheduling. But going from one show to another is not a problem at all. That's the fun. That's where the fun is. You know, diving sometimes in a day, I'll do 5, 10 different characters. I love that challenge. Sometimes in one session, I'll do 5 or 10 different characters, talking to each other, fighting with each other. I love that stuff. That's where the acting comes in, and you get to play. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Oh, fine. What are you doing? Where are you sending this? That's the really big question. Oh, that's terrifying. Oh my God.
You have a transcript right now for this entire panel.
Wow. Stop it. Stop it. What else have you recorded? This is creepy. Okay. Hi.
Hello, I'm Carlos. I'm a gigantic Transformers fan.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I grew up with Transformers Prime and Fall of Cybertron, and I was just wondering, you mostly play the Decepticons. Is there any Autobots you would like to play? Is there ever crossed your mind or crossed your career before?
I want to play everything, dude. I've played a fair amount of Autobots and humans and all sorts of different things in the Transformers universe. I do love me some Decepticons, though. They're pretty good. I love the Decepticons. They're just fun. It's fun being bad. It's really cool. And we did a show called Transformers Rescue Bots. Where, yeah, Chase. Yeah, shout out Chase. He's DC Douglas. It's all right. I love DC Douglas. It's good. Yeah, but I got to play a character called Heatwave, and a lot of kids were being introduced into the Transformers universe through that show. It was really made for kids. And I got to say, oh no, was it Rescue Bot? No, not Rescue Bots. Was it Rescue Bots?
Yeah, it was Rescue Bots. Yeah, you were Heatwave.
Yeah, it was Rescue Bots. Okay, God, brain fart on a Sunday morning. But I got to say, Rescue Bots, roll to the rescue. And that was really fun. And little kids come up to my table, and it's a fire truck also. So it's the closest thing I'll ever get to Optimus Prime. Peter is my Optimus, dude. I love Peter calling, transform, roll out. I love that guy. No, but I'll play anything they want me to play in Transformers. I love it.
That was incredible. That was amazing.
Oh, no, you hear that? I always think it's pretty good until I stand next to Peter and he does it. And then my bowels vibrate and I go, oh, no, he's my Optimus. I'm good. Yeah.
Can we get a little more Starscream, please?
Yes, call me Lord. And don't tell Megatron we had this conversation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi.
Hi. So I'm a really big Marvel fan. I have been since I was little. Like, Wolverine was the first superhero I was super into. I know you did a lot in Wolverine. I also, too, Star Wars Rebels single-handedly got me into Star Wars. So thank you for that.
Nice.
My question was, what is it like to revisit those roles? Like, I know you did Zeb in Star Wars Rebels, but you also had the cameo of him in The Mandalorian, and then you've done a bunch of different renditions of Wolverine. What is it like to, like, go back to those roles?
I love it. Those are two of my favorite characters in my whole career, so anytime I get to play Wolverine is amazing. I have loved that character since the first time I got to record him, and I still get excited every time they bring me back in. I have to audition for it every single time. What? Yeah, well, no, there is competition out there. There's a lot of people who are gunning for that role. But, depending on what incarnation it is, I don't always have to play him. In fact, I was campaigning for Cal Dodd to get it for X-Men 97 because he was the original version of him in that franchise. So I don't always have to play Wolverine, but when I do get to, I love that. And then as far as Zeb goes for Star Wars Rebels, it's so much fun to be able to be a character in the Star Wars universe that I got to originate. It was amazing. So to get to come back as him, however they'll use me, I squeal like a little fangirl inside. So yes, and getting to see Zeb in live action in The Mandalorian, as a fan was amazing for me. So if they'll have me, I'm available. So Dave Filoni, if you're watching, hire me, please. Yeah. Thanks. What? Callus's boyfriend, indeed. Yes, I love my Callus.
Hi, my name's Justin. Hi, Justin. I'd also like to point out I've recently started doing fan dubs. Nice. But my question to you is are there any recently past voice actors that you miss especially, like Chris Ayres, Conroy, Morrow?
All of them. They're all my friends. Yeah, I mean, we're a pretty tight community globally, and when one of us passes, all of us hurt. It's really rough. Kevin Conroy hit me really hard.
Yeah.
That was a really rough one. I knew Chris kind of peripherally. I met him at the conventions, and Kevin I met at the conventions too, but Kevin and I actually would sit in the green room and have long, deep conversations. And so I got to know him pretty well, and that one hit me real hard. And he was my Batman, you know? That
he was everyone's Batman.
Yeah, he's all our Batman. Yeah, so 5 minutes remaining. Got it, okay.
Yes.
Good,
Thank you for your time.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Oh, thank you to the staff here, by the way. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, before we go on, I know that there were a lot of changes in the convention center, and the powers that be that run the convention center themselves changed a lot of the things that were originally set up to run things smoothly, and it made it a lot more challenging, and the staff here had to pivot. So please, if you see a staff member from MomoCon, please thank them, and they've really gone all out to make sure you guys and we had a great experience here. So thank you to MomoCon and their staff.
Yeah, good afternoon. It's such an honor to speak with you. I'm such a huge fan. I was wondering, I'm an actor with a theater background. There are moments I can point to that I was just really proud of. So I know this is probably hard with your plethora of roles, you know, but what role are you most proud of that you can truly point to and say, I did my best work? I love that.
Ooh, how do you choose one? Amon is pretty good. Yeah. But the funny thing is I don't really credit myself for that. I credit the people I work with because we are a collaboration. Amon is a really great example because Andrea Romano, who is goddess of voice directors, was my director on that show. And my original interpretation of Amon was big and bold and stentorian because he was this villain who was on a stage and trying to, create a cult, basically. But she had me pull that way back so that Amon was more like this and didn't have to project to get the point across. And that was all Andrea. And so, when I have a performance like that comes out really good, it's like, oh no, that was my director that made me do that. And it was such a good choice. There was another great example. There was a Kung Fu Panda thing that I did a while ago, and Charlie Adler was my director on that. And he is such a fast and furious director. It's like, okay, go. And I would do, one quick read of it, and I'd say, okay, I got another idea. And he goes, no, we got it, moving on. And I go, but, oh God, I hope that was good. And then I watched the show at home, and I was like, wow, he knew what he wanted, and he guided me there so quickly, I didn't even realize that I did the best performance I possibly could. So generally speaking, I will credit my directors when those performances like that happen. So yeah, those are two really, really good examples of when I was surprised at how good it came out. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hi.
Hello, it's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm piggybacking off of Jesus' question now.
Where else are you going to hear that?
For Call of Duty Zombies, I was wondering if you had any thoughts about how the games get more absurd, like the plot gets more absurd for each game.
COD Zombies? Yeah. Man, that was a crazy ride. Again, I didn't really know all the context because we had a very short period of time to record a lot of lines, and so I didn't know what the hell I was saying half the time. I was relying on my crazy directors and the writers and everybody else. But I think what really hit me hard was when we had that final interview with the four of us, and we were in that room just talking about 10 years of it and how deeply it affected people's lives. And I didn't pay attention to that because I'm not a gamer, really. And so people from the studio were actually talking about their experiences and how it changed their lives on a cellular level. Tom Kane started crying. We started crying. It was really hard on us because we didn't really work together on that. We work separately because we're all 8-year-old boys in old men suits, and we cannot get stuff done because we just concentrate on making each other laugh. It was an amazing journey. They're my brothers. The 4 zombie splatterers are my brothers in real life. I love those guys. And so we realized how tight a family we had become, even though we didn't really work together in the same room. And for those of you who are Zombies fans, we did an album years ago called A Very Zombie Christmas. And basically we took all the cherished Christmas songs and one Hanukkah song for Richtofen, and we destroyed them, singing about zombies and killing, and it was awful and wonderful at the same time. I had the flu. I had 103 fever when I was recording it, and we all got drunk. They thought it'd be better if we drank, so I was drunk and sick, recording and singing as Tank. And on the 5th day of Christmas, it's really, really bad. And we were all out of tune. It was terrible, but we made this whole album, and then we got in trouble for doing it because Activision didn't give us their permission. Oh, no. So they made us pull it down and threatened. They had a cease and desist order. It was really a shame. We just did it for fun and for charity. But you can still find it out there on YouTube. So look up. Yeah. Look up A Very Zombie Christmas, and probably better if you're drunk, because it's terrible, but it's so much fun. That holds a very dear place in my heart. So thanks for splattering meat sacks with me all these years.
Thank you so much.
And Richtofen still sucks. Thank you.
So, since we're wrapping up, just 2 questions. I don't think I got the website. I just, if you could repeat it to me, that'd be fantastic.
Yes. BloomVoxStudios.com. Available for a limited time only at participating dealers. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
And where can we find you for the rest of the con? Because I'm sure actually there were a lot of questions, and I'm sorry we didn't get to everyone's questions, but.
Yeah, I will be at the Walk of Fame signing for the rest of today, and then today is it. So if you want an autograph or whatever, come to my table today. I will not be able to be here tomorrow, unfortunately, but I will be at the Walk of Fame all day today. And we'll have more information there about BloomVoxStudios.com. You can actually, if you give us your email, we'll send you a direct link to the free masterclass. We won't share it or spam you. But you guys can get in that way and check out the free masterclass and get started on your journey if that's what moves you.
Guys, give it up for Stephen Blum.
Thank you. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate you.
And wait, give yourselves a round of applause. Those questions were all top tier.
I love you guys. Thank you so much for having me here again. I love Atlanta, and I'll see you, Space Cowboy.